I'm gonna be honest, the second I heard the World Health Organization declared the Ebola outbreak in Africa a global health emergency, I knew things wasn't gonna end well. Mind you, this Ebola strain has no approved vaccine. And the thing about Ebola people never forget is how terrifying the symptoms are. You got fevers, vomiting, weakness, bleeding, and that leads to organ failure. This outbreak is taking place in the Democratic Republic of Congo and has already spread to Uganda. Health organizations are saying that this strain is dangerous. This strain of Ebola is rarer and less understood than the strains most people hear about. And again, officials are openly saying that there's no currently approved vaccine specifically for this version. Mind you, there are over 90 deaths so far. And on top of those deaths, there are over 300 cases. They're saying that this outbreak isn't pandemic level, but they're declaring it a global health emergency. So what does that mean? That means that's one step away from being a pandemic. This ain't one of those you catch a cold and you'll be all right type things. This Ebola strain has a 50% mortality rate. And they're also saying that this strain can be spread through bodily fluid. And again, they have no treatment, no cure, no vaccine for this Ebola strain. You have online doctors saying that this thing can get way worse than what it is. You have to understand where this can go if this doesn't get contained. Pay attention.
A lot of people are confused that what is Ebola? I thought we fought this Ebola of the thing in the past. Now they are telling us to pay attention. Welcome back. How are you guys doing? Thank you to all my return subscribers. I really appreciate you. And if you are new here, thank you. On this channel, we talk about everything trending, just like this one right here, that it is getting attention on the internet. And we are here to learn. Go down there in the comment section if you can and drop your comment. We are here to learn from each other. Yes, sir. Let's just dive right into today's video, because this right now, a lot of people are not really paying attention to it, but some people that lived through the pandemic, they are saying, no, we have to pay attention. But I'm going to be rolling y'all out some professionals out there talking about this. Like, okay, this is not serious yet, but we just got to be in the loop of what is going on. Credit to all the creators.
Ebola. There's another viral outbreak, and this one has caused 80 people to pass away in the Democratic Republic of Congo. That number is now up to at least 88, and the World Health Organization has declared Ebola a public health emergency of international concern. I don't make the medical news, I just deliver it. I'm Dr. Frida, and I'm going to break down exactly what Ebola is. I'll tell you about this recent outbreak. I'll let you know the signs and symptoms. I'll talk to you about how it is transmitted. I'll give you the incubation period. I'll tell you the mortality rate. We'll talk prevention. We'll talk treatment. But then I'm going to hit you with something, because there's something that honestly is quite worrisome about the specific strain of Ebola virus that is causing the current outbreak. Just wait to the end. I'll tell you. So on Friday, May 15th, it was reported that there was an Ebola outbreak. And at that time, there were 65 people who had passed away and 246 suspected cases. As of Saturday, the outbreak has spread to Uganda. Ebola is a virus that is quite deadly, to be honest. It starts off with dry symptoms such as fever, fatigue, body aches, and then it progresses to wet symptoms, which include vomiting, diarrhea, bleeding. If you are exposed to Ebola, you can develop symptoms anywhere from 2 to 21 days, but most people develop symptoms between 8 and 10 days. How is it transmitted? Through bodily fluids. Ebola is present in blood, urine, feces, breast milk, semen, vaginal fluids. The mortality rate of Ebola is abysmal. It's anywhere from 80 to 90%.
It's actually as high as 90%. The average mortality rate is 50%.
In order to prevent getting Ebola, you definitely want to avoid being around people who have it unless you have on proper protective equipment. Avoid any bedding, sheets, clothing. And we actually do have an FDA-approved vaccine for Ebola. But here's the thing, and here's the twist. The vaccine we have is only for the Xirense strain. This is the strain that most commonly causes Ebola, but here's the issue. The current strain that's causing the outbreak, it's the Bundibugyo strain, and we do not have an FDA-approved vaccine for this current strain. Oh, and then let's talk treatment. We actually have 2 FDA-approved treatments for Ebola, but again, it's for the Xirense strain, not for this current strain. It brings me no joy to share news of another outbreak. As always, I will keep you updated. And if you enjoy evidence-based medical information like this, please give me a follow and subscribe.
Okay, so first it was hantavirus. Now the media is really talking about a current Ebola outbreak going on in Africa. You have to be wondering, why is the media focusing so much on these significant viruses, and yet literally, if you weren't listening to the media, you probably wouldn't even know they were there. And yet it's kind of interesting because literally next month, the US is going to be hosting the World Cup. It almost makes you think, is there something bigger going on? Why do we keep talking about these potentially big virus outbreaks, and yet literally we are hosting this one very big sports event? We have to wonder, is something bigger going on behind the scenes?
There's a new virus emergency in the world. I would declare a global health emergency over the Ebola virus. Seriously? Ebola? Yeah, it's been increasing a lot in Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. So we told affected countries to set up emergency command centers and to track every sick person and who they've been around, because the Ebola virus is getting bad. Seriously, the Ebola virus? Am I a joke to you? Hantavirus? Yeah, for 2 weeks I was scaring so many people that people called me the next pandemic, and then you call Ebola the new emergency? Well, Ebola is an emergency, but you're not. It's only a cruise ship in a few cases, so hantavirus, you're not that bad. Wow, after all of my hard work. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but is Ebola a pandemic, WHO? No, don't worry. We told countries to not close the borders and keep travel open, but just be careful, because, yeah, Ebola is bad. Well, I can be worse. It's not a competition, buddy.
Global health emergency. World Health Organization just declared an emergency because of the Ebola breakout in Congo and Uganda. Now they're saying, don't panic. This is not going to be a pandemic. They do not believe this is going to be a pandemic. Listen, I'm going to repeat that for the liberals in the back. They don't think this is going to be a pandemic. So don't worry about that. Over 300 people already have it, and 8 have been unalived, as per the World Health Organization. Now, folks, this is 2 things in the last 3 weeks. And I know we have fear in us from 2020. So are you going to take any precaution with any of this? Honestly, to me, there's nothing we could do, and wait and see. But to me, if the World Health Organization is saying there's no way it's going to be a pandemic, they don't believe so, I trust what they're saying. What do you guys think in the comments? Going to take any precaution? Do you believe this is going on again? You let me know in the comments.
We've got another infectious disease alert from the World Health Organization, but let's figure out if it is worth worrying about, and if so, what we can do about it. First things first, when looking at a story like this, we have to look at what happened, where it happened, the time in which it happened, and the people affected. There's a reason that we look at time framing, caseload, but I'll get back to that in just a second. Okay, so the WHO declares an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda, which neighbors it. According to the article, there are more than 300 suspected cases and 88 deaths. According to the WHO, this does not meet the criteria for a pandemic yet, so it's classified as a public health emergency. However, one of the problems with this case is that it is the BVD variant of Ebola virus, which typically is not tested for. So that means that if there are testing protocols set up on the border of Rwanda or Uganda or even in public health ministries, then it's likely that it won't be tested for. Now let's look at the geography where some of the cases are. So we have cases in the border town of Goma between Rwanda and the DRC. We also have cases in Uganda, as well as some indications in South Sudan. This is not great for a couple of reasons. 1, because those borders are quite porous, and 2, because there is conflict in between Rwanda and Congo. In fact, right now, Goma is currently occupied by the Rwandan-backed M23 rebels. I'm not making a statement about the conflict here, but what I am saying is that oftentimes municipal health services, which are preventative in nature, are suspended during conflict times. The majority of the cases are coming from here, an area called Ituri province within the Democratic Republic of Congo. One of the other concerning things of note is the fact that 6 Americans have contracted the virus. It's likely that these Americans are either security contractors or international aid workers. This provides a possible vector for spread due to the fact that neither group works alone and both travel frequently. So we know that there is an international health emergency going on. We also know that it has the ability to spread. So the next thing we should do is benchmark the information and find out why, if at all, this time is different. As it turns out, this is the 17th time there has been an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo since 1976. This gives us a good indication that containment is likely. However, there are some complicating factors with this one. The BVD strain is unusual and there are no approved therapeutics for it. All of the current vaccine and medical infrastructure is built for the Zaire strain. However, that stockpile won't help here. The other problem is that a good deal of the funding for preventative measures like vaccinations have gone by the wayside due to the canceling of USAID, as well as other aid funds from the United States. So we have an exotic strain and less capacity to deal with it. With all that being said, this is something to watch out for, but not freak out about. I'll be writing about it in my newsletter this week. Hit the link in the bio to find out more.